Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Let's Debrief podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ashley.
And I'm Jenna.
And I hope you're ready for a nice, cozy little podcast from us today.
Yeah, we don't have a topic today. We're just chatting.
And at this point,
we're going to see where our minds take us.
Yeah. And at this point, what date will this come out? Because we did the husbands last week. And this will be the 20th, 5 days before Christmas.
Lovely.
Did I ask, like in the gifts episode, what you asked for Christmas?
I don't know.
What's on your list?
I would like new dishes. Our dishes that we have actually were given to us by someone from our church.
Oh, nice.
When we got married.
You have literally had those since, like, I've known you. Which is wild.
I know. But we have exposed shelves in our kitchen. So I would just like them to be a bit prettier. I feel like it's time. You want to know something, actually? Is that people have been on my shiz about my kitchen utensils. You know about this.
Oh, yes.
Every time somebody comes over, they comment on me not having a certain kitchen gadget that they deem necessary for me to have. And okay. I'm like, I'm doing just fine. I don't need the kitchen gadgets. But people are always like, oh, you don't have this type of knife? I'm like, no. I just use a normal knife. And I can cut whatever I need to cut with it. But it's just so funny. Like, I've just noticed it. Different people will make different comments.
Because especially, like, I don't know if this, like, came up when you had Monty's birthday here, but, like, different people were preparing food. And I'm sure somebody was like,
someone said something.
Food processor?
Someone said, like, why would you use a towel to get that out of the oven? Why don't you have an oven mitt?
Oh, well, I do side the opposite way.
You think you should use an oven mitt?
Yeah, at least just have one. Like,
I have one. I don't use it, though.
I feel like I've seen you burn yourself before.
It's a risk I'm willing to take. I also just don't have, like, kitchen storage.
No,
so
that's
I just don't have room
because your
for
kitchen
stuff.
Is your pantry. Your kitchen storage is your pantry as well. Yeah. So I 100% respect, like, keeping things low.
I actually just bought a blender. I haven't had a blender for a few years.
Like a full blender, like a NutriBullet.
I didn't have either, but I bought like a NutriBullet.
Okay,
to make smoothies.
We have a NutriBullet. We got it for our wedding. It's all you need. Like, it makes
I haven't used one for years, so why would I need something bigger?
Yeah. I think, like, I don't even know if maybe I was just getting influenced and I was like, oh, like, this blender is really nice. And I'm like, that's ginormous. Like, why? I have no more room for that. Why do I want to make room for that? And literally all we ever use a blender for is either making smoothies or, like, spinach and artichoke dip to, like, mix it all together.
Yeah.
Even, like, I've been on, like, the fence. I'm like, oh, I should get a food processor. And every time, like, a recipe is like, and then throw this into the food processor, I'm like, my blender does just fine. The NutriBullet does fine.
Yeah. I did ask for Christmas from my mother-in-law a hand mixer. I am on my kitchen gadget asking for.
Yes. You and another, like, friend like that we have, we use forks to bake, and we were like, we gotta get him some hand mixers. Yeah. Because I understand not wanting the full KitchenAid stand mixer.
I don't have room for it, literally. And so
because the air fryer.
The air fryer is taking up my one gadget.
And spot. You know what? I'm okay with that.
It's beautiful. And I, like, don't really do that much that I would use it for except baking, which I have recently really wanted, like, a good chocolate chip cookie. A few months ago, I posted on my story, I'm like, what's the best chocolate chip cookie recipe? I probably got the most responses on that story that I've ever gotten in my life. But every single one of them was like, okay, like, cream together the butter and sugar. And to me, I just mix it.
Yeah.
With a fork. Or I've just never been a good recipe follower. Or so I'll just mix it all together in a bowl and then bake it. And then it never turns out good. And I'm like...
Yeah, you got to do your wets and your dries separate. And then you got to mix in the dry to the wet.
Yeah.
Like, baking truly, like, even the other... Like, I made like, I was telling Cole, like, spinach and artichoke dip, I really just throw all together. I'm like, sure, whatever. Cooking, I am so liberal and like, yep, sure, that's fine. And like, it's like, this calls for 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and I'll just shake it out. I'm like, looks good to me.
Yeah, and you can be like that, which is why I get confused with baking. I'm like, why can't I just mix it together?
Yeah,
but
Cole
it's like chemistry.
handles all of that side because, like, and I enjoy it from time to time, but Cole is the baking guy because he's like, it has to be exact, and I'm like, yes, I know, but like, I don't have another teaspoon of butter, and he's like, well, you gotta go to the store. And I'm like, but no, like,
literally, like, it makes no sense to me why it has to be so exact, but it literally does, because so everyone said, like, use this recipe on the back of the Nestle.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so I went and bought all the stuff, and it was literally the worst cookie I've ever had.
Ew.
And then I was like, I guess I do need to actually follow the directions.
People, like, listening are like, duh.
Yeah. I mean, I followed what the ingredients were, but I just didn't do it in the order. Anyways, I'm getting a hand mixer, everyone, so my cookies will hopefully, and the first thing I'll be making is the Nestle recipe.
And she'll report back. Hand mixers like are so nice. Like, even like when we hosted Thanksgiving this year, Cole was using the stand mixer for something, and then I needed to, I was doing like my cinnamon roll, so I needed to like whip together the icing. And like, literally, it takes so much strength. I'm not saying this to discourage you, but like, literally, it was just
my
like,
parents have one.
I was like, oh, okay. I have not had to be hands-on in a long time.
Yes, my parents always just had a hand mixer, so that was what I like grew up using. So I asked for that.
There was a really nice one at Aldi. Aldi's my
really
deepest obsession, and it was like $25.
See, I'm having this issue where like I like asked my mother-in-law for that, and then I'm like, I should just buy it for myself. But I know that she probably already bought it for me, so I'm like, I guess I can't.
Or just keep the receipts just in case.
Yeah, but yeah, I haven't really had a lot of things that I've been wanting lately.
You know, I saw a TikTok the other day that was like asking your moms what they want for Christmas, and it's just like, I just want my kids to be happy. That is just my biggest joy in life. Like, I just want to see them smile. Are you in that phase?
My dad every year is like, I just want a hug. I'm like, stop.
Please, you have to want something.
So I bought him a bunch of steaks this year, though.
That is a great gift. Just put a little bow on it.
He'll love it.
A little plastic bag. Farm fresh steaks and bacon.
What's
the farm that did you get it from Laps?
I got it from Tub Mill.
Where's that?
This is actually what Tanner wanted me to tell you about, so I guess I'll tell you now.
Oh.
So the actual farm is near his parents' house.
Oh, okay.
The beef store is only open on Fridays from 12 to 5.
That's so stressful.
So you had to go out, and I got it at that time. But they are the ones who bought that building in town that's like being renovated.
Yeah, Cole's parents were telling us about it.
Yeah. So I talked to her yesterday. Listen to this.
Oh, I'm scared.
First of all, it's already looks freaking beautiful.
Yeah. What did they paint it? Green?
It's like white.
Oh, white.
There's a huge fireplace going up. She said there's going to be a big seating area inside and outside. There's going to be a patio.
Ooh. This is literally down the street from Cole's parents, so I'm very excited.
Yes. There's going to be to-go sandwiches. There's going to be a butcher so you can get like meats to go and stuff. Yep. There'll be coffee. There'll be fresh pastries.
They're going to put Kingfisher out.
I hope not, but I mean, I feel like it's a different vibe. They're going to have raw milk. They will have butter.
Do they have dairy cows?
Yeah.
Or are they going to source it from other places?
No, they have dairy cows. They're going to have raw milk, butter. All of the meats that were like at the store, they're going to have chicken, pork, beef.
Wow.
Like everything.
Incredible.
I'm like, we don't need to go anywhere else for grocery shopping.
Yeah, 5 minutes, not even.
Yes.
I'm so excited. That's incredible.
I'm so excited.
Cole's parents and his mom had mentioned it, and I was like, that's probably forever away from what do you date?
They said it's next month.
For real?
Yes.
That's
you should
so
see
exciting.
it in town. It's really coming along.
Aw, that's so exciting. That was literally Tanner's dream.
Yes.
So maybe one day, in 30 years, they'll be looking to retire, and Tanner's like, let me take it over.
He's like, I'm so happy, but I'm kind of sad. He's like, I really wanted to do something like that. And I'm like, yeah, but also they have all of that stuff.
Yes, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's
you would
so
have to outsource.
easy. Yes. So
That is very exciting. You literally won't have to drive to Latrobe, like,
I'm so
ever.
happy. And I'm just hoping that it's like a good, like, maybe there's Wi-Fi there, we can go to work. There's really nowhere nearby that we can go to work.
Yeah, I mean, every time I feel like you're literally driving to Latrobe, which again, it's like 10, 15 minutes, but it's like, yeah,
And
to
that's
have
the whole
something more
thing.
accessible would be really nice. Do you ever shop at like this Giant Eagle, or do you always go to Latrobe?
We will go there if we need like something fast, but I usually go and do laps, Aldi, Walmart.
You should place orders with Walmart so you can just drive on up.
I know, but I kind of like going
Little
in and
walking.
walking around.
That's fair. Always, like, placing orders always reduces the amount of things I buy. Because I'm like, I can look right in the fridge and I'm like, more salami.
Yes. There's a big problem though, because there's no service in Latrobe. So I will go to Aldi if I place an order. I had to stop placing orders because I cannot hit the button that I'm here, because there's not enough service to literally hit the button.
So you should go over to Starbucks, get
I
on the
did
Wi-Fi.
that once, but it's like, then I have a baby with me. It's like, okay, I got to get her out of the car, go in there, then walk over. Like, then it defeats the purpose of placing the order. Multiple times I've had to walk into Aldi, go up to wait in line, go up to the cashier and say, hey, like, I have an order.
Yeah, and they're probably like, well, you just check in on your phone, wait in your car. Why are you inside right now?
I'm like, I can't.
Please.
There's no service here.
Yeah, that's very frustrating.
What is on your Christmas list,
Well,
little miss?
little miss. Let me look at my Amazon wish list. I feel like I got Blundstones for my birthday, and that was like a really big ticket item. Let's see. Okay, how often are you on TikTok now?
Not much.
Periodically.
I might see things.
I might see things. Have you seen the viral spin brush?
No.
Okay.
Wait, is it for cleaning?
Yes.
Yes, I have seen
I
it.
found it on Amazon because buying from TikTok shop kind of freaks me out.
I agree.
Like, I'm like, you're going to steal my information. But I found it on Amazon and I put it on my list. Look at how incredible that looks.
Oh, I might have to steal that from you.
Yeah. Like,
Not
cleaning,
like take yours, but take the idea.
Take the idea. And I mean, it's on sale right now for almost 50% off. So if you're
Wait, it was $100?
Yeah, isn't that weird? Like, TikTok is definitely cheaper, but I'm like, then again, I trust this one.
What is it called? Spin brush?
This is, well, yeah, just look up the electric spin scrubber. It's by The Week. Right now it's $46 and it has over 8,000 reviews. So, you know, it's good. What else? I put like clothes on my wish list because I never really I never really asked for clothes, but it was on our gift guide. I put it as a, something on my list. I really want like a little towel warmer as well. Mm-hmm. Did I talk about this on last episode that we wanted to renovate our bathroom?
You did, yeah.
Okay. We haven't done anything for it yet, but bought literally a can of paint and we were like, we will be painting it this color.
What color is it?
Just white. It's gray right now. So getting it to white and then taking out the vanity that's there. And then I'm like hopeful that like we could sell that and take the money to buy a new one.
Yeah, we were looking at vanities at Lowe's the other night. They're not too expensive.
They're not too expensive, but they're just like ugly.
Basic. I know. There's
Cole found
nothing
a
like
pretty decent one on Wayfair, but it's just the vanity. Like you need to provide like the sink. And so it's like okay, and it was like $200. So it was like, and it like looked like fine, but I told you, Cole has like the Pinterest, but our plan is to get like the vanity, put in the sink, and then around the sink tile it like with here. I think he has me on like the Pinterest board, so I can go like show you inspo for it. But oh yeah, here we go. Okay, like this is like the
Oh, that's so cute.
The vision.
Oh my gosh.
you see. You definitely can't. But yeah, like having an inset sink.
Is it gonna
and
be
then,
that
like,
color?
I think we were looking for like a terracotta.
Okay.
But then like the wooden borders and everything too.
That is so cute.
So that is like, I don't know, just like variations of that. Just
I
like
can't wait to
clean
see it.
wood and But
Do you have a timeline? Like, are you trying to get it done before Christmas or no?
definitely not.
Okay.
It'll just be something like slowly but surely. And
Yeah.
like once my sister like moves out, we think we're gonna like move up to like her room too, because it's a little bit bigger. And so we're like, but like this is like now it's like the bathroom that everybody uses. So we're like, there's no like regret like doing it. And I'm like, if we could do it, especially for like under $500 and have it just be like, oh, it clearly just got like a little facelift, like I'm fine with that. But we're not like ripping any tile out or anything.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And it's also not our house. My parents like wouldn't care, but we're like, we're not gonna live here forever.
Yeah.
Like that would be just a dumb financial decision.
Do you like the bathroom upstairs or no?
It's exactly the same. Like,
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if
I've literally never even been upstairs in your house.
Really?
Yeah, never.
It's literally like you walk up the steps, straight ahead is the bathroom. If you turn left was my room before Cole and I got married, and then turn right, that's Lou's room. Literally, that's all that's there.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. And they're like, the only thing about the rooms upstairs that sucks is like they're pitched. And
Yeah.
so like this, like Cole always like struggled in that room just because like he's taller and like was like always hitting his head and stuff. But yeah, it's like our cute rooms and stuff. It's the house is technically 4 bedrooms, but like the office like on the first floor is very small.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, I feel like I've definitely told you this before, but like our house was like valued at like $40,000, and then it was foreclosed on, and then these guys, brothers or something, like bought it and flipped it, and then that's when we bought it. So they just literally did like the most basic
Yeah.
design to every single thing. And like, yeah, if it was like fully like Cole and I's house, like I would definitely like change things in the kitchen and like different things, but it's just like, oh, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, and it's not going to pay you back ever.
No, but
I was looking at Zillow the other day, and obviously Zillow doesn't know like the renovations that we've made to our house, but the Zestimate of it went up $20,000 since we bought the house.
just from it, like,
from inflation.
you love to see
And
it.
I'm like, all right, that's great.
Yeah, you guys aren't looking to get out of here super soon, are you?
Probably
Eventually.
like within 3 years, I would say.
Yeah, I feel like that's very understandable.
Once like we have too many kids
Yeah.
to fit in the house.
And yeah, and then you're just got complete capacity.
The thing that is so hard, I was just talking to my friend about this, about like kids, is like you just think like, oh, just put them all in one bedroom. But the baby always has to be by itself because it will wake everyone else up.
Yeah, it really just like they're like Joe and Shayla's daughter Ellie, like she's older, and like her and Farrah like don't share a room, but once she is out, she is out.
Yeah.
Like she is zonked. And so like if you have a kid like that, it's like really nice, but yeah.
I think once the baby is sleeping through the night, then it's fine. Like if we
Yeah.
had like another child and then they were both sleeping through the night and I had a third baby, I
Then,
could
like,
put the
they
older
could be in, like,
two.
little beds together. Like,
Yes, I would put them two together and it would be fine. But because like the baby wouldn't be sleeping through the night, I'm not going to put the toddler in the room with the baby and then they're both up.
yeah. Imagine having twins. One baby wakes up, starts screaming.
See, I do feel like though if it's from birth, they get used to it and don't wake each other up. But I would feel bad for like a 2-year-old than like putting them with the baby.
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
I would put 2 older kids together. It's fine.
Yeah.
So anyways, that being said, we're just going to grow out of this house.
Yeah,
Quickly.
No, that's very fair. And it was such a, I'm like acting
Like,
like
you're
it's
selling
sold.
it.
Acting like it's
Moving
sold already.
out
I'm
today.
like, it was a good starter house and everything. I still cannot believe as we were leaving last week, like when we were recording and you were saying like that, like outside was all like natural wood and then they painted it brown. I was like, that is literally the biggest travesty. Like, I'm just like even looking at it out the window right now. I'm like, why did you do that?
I know. And like it still looks like wood, but it's
Yeah.
just
very brown wood.
Do you want to talk about your flight that you booked?
Oh, sure. Which we have always
Crazy that you asked.
Crazy. Thank you so much for bringing this up. We have talked about having the person responsible for me like getting this flight on the podcast before. So in the new year, we got to bring him on. But
Yeah.
Yes, Cole and I booked flights to Europe. We only booked the one way. In September, we're going to do a like 2-year anniversary, like big Europe trip. And we had like talked about it, like when we, like after we got married, we were like, oh, maybe for 1 year, like we'll do this. And then like, I don't know, like it just kind of, we just didn't prioritize it at all. So then, in the fall, we started talking with our friend Ed about like credit card points and like the best way to leverage them and everything. And so, yeah, we had been like saving up some points. I saw that there was a flight from Pittsburgh to London for like 30,000 points each. I had like 76 and I was like, I'm booking it.
That's crazy that you have that many points.
I know. Because
I need to look at how many I have.
You get like a sign-on bonus like for a lot of like different cards and everything, and so like it's that sign-on bonus that really gets you up. And so
wait, what?
This is with American Airlines. This wasn't Southwest. Southwest doesn't go to Europe.
That's what I was thinking, but then like when you told me it was $11 or something,
that's what the taxes.
Yeah, that's what it is on Southwest too. So I was like, oh, maybe it is.
Yeah, I wish. That would be incredible. But yeah, we got a card with American, got the 50,000 points, and then kind of just spent like whatever.
They have been like making, if we all got to dinner, they're like, we'll get it. You guys can Venmo us.
And like it's funny because we had like with every card, like, yeah, you have that like spend bonus where it's like spend $3,000 in 4 months, and it's like, okay, like especially like when we went out for Peter's dinner, I think it literally was like $600 or $700 like with tip and everyone like all said and done. And so it was just like, you can pay for that, and then that was like you only paid 150 or like whatever. And so yeah, there's just like those types of situations. So I was like, no, really guys, like let's just save the waitress, it's not that big of a deal.
Don't worry,
don't stress. Breaking down Peter's was so interesting because like people split dinners and then like taking his portion and like dividing it amongst it was just funny. But
we paid for his like all together. Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah. But yeah, so our plans, which like I always liked like when we talked about going to Maine and everything, how people sent in recommendations and stuff. So if you have any recommendations for these stops, by all means DM me or DM the podcast. But we're gonna fly into London and spend a few days there. Honestly, it was just like it was one of the cheaper places to fly into, and I think it'll be a nice like ease into like going to Europe because obviously they still speak English there, and so it's like, oh, okay, like we're in a different like part of the world, but like we can still understand everybody.
I only have 15,000 points. Sorry.
Didn't you spend some though, like on?
Oh yeah.
Oh okay. Did you guys go to Denver for free?
It wasn't. I think one of our flights was free.
Oh, nice.
We never use our credit card anymore. We are not credit card people.
You gotta get on it.
I know.
And I'll send you all of my links.
I'm not really in my international travel era right now.
No, that's definitely fair.
Although I am going on an international trip, which I will talk about this after.
Yeah. Perfect. This is the perfect topic. So yeah, we're gonna fly into London, and I've been there before and absolutely loved it, and was only like there for a few days, so I'm excited for us to go there. And then honestly, like we haven't like obviously scheduled anything, but I really just want to hold plans like very loosely, especially with taking, which like you can correct me on this or help me with this, like you don't have to like schedule trains in advance, do you? Like you could just. You
can. I don't know if it's like, so when we went, it was like still COVID, so you couldn't go between countries. So
by train.
Yeah, we could only go on the trains to get like
to somewhere else.
We had
in
to
Italy.
fly from country to country.
Okay, I know that you can now because Ed and Katie went in the fall, like of September of 2022, and you can take a train from London to Paris. It literally goes under the ocean. Isn't that absolutely terrifying?
How do they build that?
I don't know. I saw a TikTok on it, and that was just like the construction of murmur, and I was like, no,
I don't need to know.
I don't need to know.
That is crazy. Yeah, we weren't allowed to do that. So we only did trains like we did one from like Rome to Naples, and then like Naples to Amalfi, and it was like whatever, but like we had to fly everywhere else, which was so annoying. And then like, our flights kept getting canceled and stuff, and it was just horrible.
Yeah, I was gonna say once you're there, like aren't like flights like $100 or like even less?
They were very cheap.
Yeah, so I'm like I'm sure like it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I think I'm like just planning on holding things very loosely and being like, okay, like technically, like, we're supposed to go to Paris today, but if we want to stay here more, like, we can. Like, I just don't want it to be, like, very rushed. And, like, having to, like, go, okay, well, now we got to pack our bags. Like, I want it to be enjoyable.
Will the train, like, from, like, London, Paris, like, is it, like, overnight? Like, is it long?
I don't know. I have to ask. Like, Ed and Katie took it, so I have to ask them how long it is. I'm pretty sure it's, like, only a few hours.
No, then I would say you probably don't have to reserve it.
I don't think so
I
either.
would say, like, if you're going to be taking a train overnight, I would reserve it. Just, like, no.
Yeah.
You're good. And your long trip is reserved.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the plan. We were going to start high and then kind of make our way, like, down. And so, London to Paris, we honestly are planning, we're assuming that we'll love Paris the most. And so we're planning on spending, like, a decent amount of time there. You're gonna make fun of me, but
You're gonna go to Disney Paris?
Yes.
I was gonna ask you if you were.
Yeah, we, like, I mean, it's one of those, like, even if I wasn't a Disney person, I'm like, that's cool. And also, their tickets are so cheap.
Really?
Yes, it's like, okay, because, like, they have, like, one deal that's like, oh, buy your hotel stay and your ticket stay, like, all together. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I was just kind of messing around with it so, like, they have 2 different parks. So for 2 people in 2 days, and, like, the tickets being, like, park hopper tickets where you can go in between.
2 days in the parks?
Yes.
Okay.
2 days in the parks, and then 2 nights at a hotel, at, like, a Disney hotel. The cheapest option was, like, $600, which,
Wow.
for perspective, when we were going to, like, Walt Disney World and before we got passes, almost every single time, obviously depends on, like, the time of year and, like, this ticket prices will change, but we could be paying anywhere from, like, $350 to $400 just in tickets.
Yeah, for one day.
For literally one day. And
So that's like 2 days and 2 nights at a hotel.
yeah, like a nice Disney hotel too.
Wow.
So I was, like, very impressed with that. And, like, we have a hotel credit card too, and so we're gonna try to get at least London and Paris, like, hotel, like, night stays on that card. And, like, that's very possible, but it's like, we'll pay for any Disney stuff. You always have to pay out of pocket. Like, they're never on any credit card, like, hotels or anything, but, like, that's the only thing that sucks. But yeah, so, and then after that we'll go to, so we'll be in Paris, probably do, like, 3 days, like, in the city, and then go to Disney. And then from there,
Is Disney, like, close to the city?
I don't know. I haven't really looked at it. Again, this is, like, Ed and Katie, I think they basically did this trip, but, like, we're doing it backwards. Like, they ended in London and we're gonna start in London.
Okay.
And, like, they spent, like, a decent amount of time in Italy. But so then from there we're gonna go to Lake Como. And
Our favorite place.
because you have talked so highly of it, I'm like, we have to go.
You have to.
I've literally, of any place, I feel like people are like, oh yeah, Paris is incredible, but it's, like, dirty. Lake Como, I feel like I've never heard a bad word like about it ever. So I'm like,
The only thing I would say is that, like, we went in June and it was very crowded. But, like, I feel like in September it won't be.
I'm really hoping that everyone kind of bails in October or bails in August, and then we're going in September, and I'm hoping that, like, all of the crowds are gone, the weather is still nice.
Well, a big lure of going there is swimming. So, like, if you don't have your heart set on swimming and you just want to explore, I think you'll be good.
Yeah.
It is truly, like, there's nowhere else on earth like it. Like,
so
it
excited.
has the, like, architecture of, like, the Amalfi Coast, but it's a lake in the mountains.
Yeah.
And then, like, all of the houses are, like, beautiful gardens. Like, they value, like, landscaping so much. It's just magical. And going around to all the different towns,
Yeah.
you take a ferry. Like, there's no cars. You can't really drive cars. So you take a ferry around, and on the ferry, it's like people are playing cards, and they, like, have little coffee and, like, croissants on the ferry.
I'm so excited.
It's so cute.
And, like, we were planning on doing Amalfi too, and, like, so, like, then after Como we're gonna go to Rome, and I was like, and then we'll, like, finish in Amalfi. And I'm just like, I finally scratched it because, yeah, like, I would like to swim. If it's gonna be too cold, I'd be devastated. And I'm also like, I mean, also, how far is the Amalfi from Rome?
Okay, this was one thing I was not expecting. So you can't even take a train there because it's literally on the coast. So you have to take a train from Rome to Naples, which is like an hour or two.
Okay.
Then from Naples, you have to get a car.
car.
So either rent a car, which you have to get an international license, or
Pay a
hire a taxi, which our taxi was $200 from like
Which sucks.
Naples.
That was only one way.
Yes. And then once you're there, you have to take taxis around. Like,
yeah, it just seemed a little too complicated. Like, and it does seem like you guys went with a group. It seemed like a good group thing that was like, I'm sure like we'll come back like with other people.
You will.
Like, but I was just like, it just seemed like exactly that. Like, I'm like, it seems like too much. And I feel like we're going to get a similar vibe in Como that like, I'd rather just wait. And it is much more of the summer vibe. Like, so, but yeah, so after Como, we'll make our way down to Rome and then most likely, I obviously haven't booked anything yet, but like fly home from Rome.
yeah.
But
I think
yeah.
they have flights to Pittsburgh too.
Nice. Yeah. I usually like, I think we even have said in podcasts before, like our little tip is fly out of New York, but I was like when you pay
But
cash,
it sucks.
it does suck. Like you literally have to drive and then park your car and like still like most of the time the cost still doesn't even compare to like what it would be. It's like a $300 difference on every person's ticket. So it's like, okay, yeah, I'm saving $600, but and like parking your car in is like $100 plus, like it's not super pricey either, but you're all of the time and everything. But when you're booking with points, when I was just messing around with it, it was literally the same amount of points to like do a Pittsburgh flight and then a New York flight. And I was like, oh, okay, then I will be flying out of Pittsburgh.
Is it long?
It is. I can actually show you.
When I will never forget when we got home from Italy. So the reason I was so stressed about getting home was because we had a wedding the next day.
Yeah, literally terrifying.
But we had to stay that long to be able to shoot everything we needed to shoot. And I was super pregnant, so we flew on the plane. I had really bad restless leg syndrome. I could not sleep. We flew at like night, but then like it was still night when we got back here. I don't know. I couldn't sleep. I was so restless. I was so annoyed. We got to the airport in New York and we had to take a shuttle because we parked our car at like an external place for it to be cheaper.
We did like a hotel too.
Yeah. And I will never forget because we were going to drive back that night and it was already like 1 a.m. and we had to drive from New York City to our house.
Yeah.
And we were all so exhausted. And I just will never forget the shuttle. Like it was going so slow and then it stopped for gas. And he was just like taking his time getting a snack. And you were like, I'm going to
burst into tears.
And I was like, I understand. Obviously, you deserve to like stop and get a drink and a snack, like whatever. But I was like,
always respect someone that needs a drink and a snack.
I was so upset that he was stopping for gas.
What time did you guys get home?
Like 5 a.m.
That literally sounds like hell.
And then we had a wedding the next day. That's when I pooped on the side of the road.
With the glove?
I wiped with the glove.
Wait, so you got here at 5 a.m. and had a wedding that day or like the next day?
That day.
Oh my God.
I mean, it was a summer wedding, so it was like we had to be there like 2 p.m.
And you and Tanner just like switched off driving, so it's not like you got solid sleep whatsoever.
I couldn't sleep. I had restless legs. The restless legs was the worst part of the pregnancy by far.
Okay, here's our flight. So I had us like leaving a couple days earlier, and then when we were looking at it, we were like 2.5 weeks is like a really long time.
It is.
Yeah.
You feel like you're like, I'm a citizen.
I know Rome now.
We were there for like 10 days, I think, just in Europe in general. Mm-hmm. And I was like,
when you guys went
I'm a European citizen. Yeah.
Okay. How long was your full trip? Was it only 10 days?
I
feel
think
like you were gone forever.
Maybe 12.
Okay. But yeah, I was like, okay, so it's looking like 2.5 weeks. And Cole was like, I don't know. That's a long time. And I was like, no, that's actually very fair. And so we're leaving. I was like, is this weird sharing like my dates and everything?
Like, so I won't be home on these days.
Yeah, everyone, like we're going to be batching episodes a year from now because I won't be here. I'll be in Europe. So our flight leaves at 6 p.m. So it's like, it'll be like an overnight flight, which I'm really excited about. 6 p.m. out of Pittsburgh, we go to Charlotte. And then from Charlotte, we leave at like 8:15. It is are you kidding me? Why can't I?
Do you sleep well on planes overnight?
Well, our flight to Greece was 9.5 there and then 11 back. And so I slept off and on. I don't sleep solid. Let me tell you though, if I was in first class, those late class seats, I would be out.
Oh,
that would be magical. I told you, like, when I went to Europe when I was like 18, we were in business class.
Ugh.
Oh, I was like, this is living. And then they woke up and they were like, mimosa, and I was like, and I was 18, but I was on an international flight, and I was like, yes, thank you so much. Absolutely.
That is so funny.
Why can't I see?
I have never been in first or business class. I've never even touched my butt to the seat.
Just walk by and you're like, oh.
I saw this TikTok that was like how people in first class look at you when you walk by and they're like glaring at you and they're like, oh, you're poor.
You're like, oh, so what's it like to be poor? I can't see how, like, what the actual time is, but we leave Charlotte at 8:15, get to London at 9 a.m., and I'm pretty sure there's a 6-hour time change. So I think it's 6 hours of flight, which is not bad at all.
No.
Like, compared to what we did for Greece. What's it back from Rome? Do you know?
7 or 8 maybe.
Nice. Okay.
We had the best flight ever on our way to Europe. It was an overnight flight. I am not kidding you. On this flight, I had the best pasta I had of the whole trip. Literally going to actual European countries.
You would.
The best pastas on the flight. It was ravioli, and it was so good. I miss it every day.
When we flew to Greece, we had paid cash. We got like a really like good deal, and we're just in like normal economy and everything. And I just remember being so like, first of all, I was on Delta, and Delta, if you know, is just like so elite.
It is so elite.
There was a few years ago too, like I was flying to California to surprise my mom for Mother's Day, and I flew from Pittsburgh to New York and then New York to LA, and so like that's like a 6-hour flight. And I remember like they came around and they were like, do you want like lunch, like a lunchbox? And I was like, no, it's okay, like I don't want to pay. And they're like, it's free. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah. And it was literally like half of us, like a full Subway, better than Subway sandwich, a bag of chips, a cookie, and a bottle of water. And I was like, for free? Like I was like 17, and I was
That'd
like,
be
that
like
was amazing.
$25 usually.
Truly.
On a flight.
And so then when we were flying to Greece, I was like, I think we get like full meals and everything too for being an economy. And it was so nice too, because the way this plane was laid out, that was like 2 seats, 4 seats, 2 seats, and Cole and I got like a 2-seat on the side, so it was just the two of us. We could like spread out like within reason. Like obviously there's not that much leg room, but I was like, okay, honestly, like obviously business class or like first class is like preferred, and I would absolutely love that, but I'm like, economy is not that bad. Like when you're flying on these long haul flights, like you
when
still
they
get
bring
food.
out the food, it just gives me a feeling like nothing else.
Yeah, I'm like,
Speaking
I'll have
of
the chicken, please.
Speaking of food, can we go get food after this?
Oh, sure.
I really want to go to the kitchen.
I've never been there before.
Really?
Yeah, never.
I'm gonna text Tanner. We just went there yesterday actually, because they put in like a whole addition.
Yes.
And there's like a bar, and we went up to the bar and we ordered smoothies to go. Yeah.
But yeah, so if you're flying, especially like an overnight flight, I think they'll give you dinner and then they'll give you breakfast before you land. And so like they'll start breakfast service at like 6 a.m.
When
and
you hear it cooking, you smell it.
And the smell of coffee, and then you like, you've just waken up from a nap and you're opening up like your little window shade, you see the sun rising, get to sip on your coffee. Truly, I feel like I am a millionaire.
Literally. And it could be the
like,
worst
this is
food.
my private jet.
It could be the worst food on earth, but you're just like,
I don't care.
in that moment, you're like, this is the best thing that could ever grace my tongue.
Yeah, I can't remember what Cole and I got like on our way to Greece, but I remember it was like a ravioli thing too, and I was like, this is pretty good. Like, I'm shocked, like absolutely shocked.
What airline were you flying?
Delta.
Oh.
Yeah.
We flew, what the frick? What is the country that is by Spain?
Lufthansa.
What? No.
I was trying to guess airplanes.
What's the country that's by Spain?
Oh.
Portuguese.
Portugal.
We flew Portugal Airlines.
Nice.
Air Portugal.
There you go.
And that was where the pasta was.
I'm coming for you.
Speaking of like randomly weird like things, like I just thought in my mind, I was like, I wonder if I could email them and somehow get that pasta. Obviously I wouldn't, but it's just like a funny thing.
And they'd be like, literally was like Panera pasta.
They're like, we just got it from Aldi. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what you want.
Speaking of random weird branded things, the signature scent that they used to put in the Sheraton lobbies was my favorite scent of all time. Okay.
I remember this area.
Yes, it was the best thing ever. I think it was a little bit of nostalgia because with our youth group, we used to always go to Virginia Beach, and our youth group leader was a credit card points guy. So he would always get us at the Sheraton because he had like a credit card for them or whatever. Anyways, I love the scent that they would have in the Sheraton lobbies. Since COVID, I have not smelled it in any Sheratons. And they did have it in the Station Square one before, and it's no longer there. But they have it on their website.
No way.
Sheraton Signature Scents. But there's two options, and they aren't specific. One is like Ocean Breeze, and one is like Island Air. I'm like, which one is it?
Literally,
I
if one of
don't
them
know.
was foresty, I would know the difference.
Yes. But no, and I'm like, which one is it? And also, it's literally $125.
So it's like, I can't take a gamble
No.
and then get the wrong one.
But I've always wanted to order it, and since it hasn't been in the lobby, I'm like, I should order it. It's probably so toxic for you.
Probably. I think Heather was the same way. Like, she got like the scent that they like have in the St. Regis or something like that. I'm like, oh, I would love for people to think of my house as walking into a Sheraton of the St. Regis. Like, this is a hotel.
Yes, I'm telling you, the scent of the Sheraton, there's nothing like it.
I don't think I've ever had the pleasure, or like I could.
Even if you did, you probably couldn't put your finger on it.
Yeah.
But,
okay, I want to hear about your trip though. I know we've talked very briefly.
yes, so
Have you set things in stone?
we're going to book it today.
Yay.
I think it is set in stone because I've been tracking the flights of the
Okay.
dates, so I know like when it will be. But we've been saying forever that we need to go somewhere to not be depresso this winter.
Yes.
Somewhere warm.
Literally, if you like, which is so funny, like people are like, why? I don't know if people say this, but it's like, Pennsylvania, it's such a random state. Like, why live there? And it's like, well, it's cheap. And then when it does suck here, you can afford to go places.
Absolutely. And then like with our jobs, obviously we're very lucky that we don't work that much in the winter. And so like
and you can kind of be a little more selective if you do.
yeah, we have the opportunity to go. And also we did have a wedding that was kind of like in the middle of when we would want to go. And unfortunately, I'm not sure exactly why, but they ended up calling off the wedding. So
You don't know
that
if
kind
they're
of
still together.
no idea. She just said like we had to cancel it, and I'm like, all right.
So, yeah.
But so we were like, okay, late February, really you get the itch. So we want to go somewhere warm. We kept saying like, should we just go and stay in Florida, like just at the beach? Should we go to Southern California? Can't swim there though, even in the
Cold.
winter, like even
Be
if
like
it's
a cold
warm.
plunge.
Yeah. And like obviously Monty will be going with us, so it's like we want her to be able to swim and have fun. But
Florida
then
really is the greatest escape for cheap.
I agree. And for so long, I was pulling for that. I was like, let's just go stay in Miami. Like,
Yeah.
and the waves there are so just like, there's nothing.
When the boys and I, like, our like group of friends like went, it was like October of 2020, I think. We like just on a whim booked a trip to Miami and like went down for like a long weekend. I was like, that was so much fun, and it was so
I
hot.
love Miami.
So hot, but yeah, and it's so walkable, so it's like you don't even need a
if
car.
you can stay like right in like the beach area, you're perfect. So I was like, oh, let's just do that. That's like kind of what I was leaning towards. Then like we just kept talking about it, and we were both just like, it just doesn't feel like special though. Like if we're like thinking about like Monty going on like whatever, like obviously I'm sure we'll take her many places, and I'm sure she'll go to Florida at some point, but it's like
she didn't get
Oh,
to
we-
experience Florida at one.
we took her to Florida this winter, like, oh, okay, that's like what everyone does. So we're like, oh, maybe we could go somewhere that's like international but not too far. So then Tanner was like, what if we went to Costa Rica? And I was like, in my brain, I'm like, that seems a little unattainable. Then I started researching it, and I found out it's actually not that far. Like at all.
Yeah.
It's very close to
Especially
Florida.
I mean, I was gonna say you go to Mexico all the time, but like, I feel like over the last few years, except maybe this year, because obviously you became a mom, but like you went to Mexico almost like once a year, like did an all-inclusive vibe or something like that.
Yeah, so yeah, I didn't even know that Costa Rica was that close, but it's like right beneath like the islands that are beneath Florida. Like it's kind of like a straight shot from like beneath there, because the way South America curves, it like goes down under. Anyways, so we found there's obviously an airport in Latrobe, so we're gonna fly from Latrobe to Orlando.
Yes. You haven't booked that yet?
No.
Okay.
which that's like a 1 hour flight. The whole thing that we're like, we don't want to put Monty on like a 10-hour flight or something
Which
like
is
that.
completely fair.
Or like just a bunch of layovers. So we're like, okay, we're going to go La Trobe to Orlando. We'll stay like a night or whatever there. And then from Orlando, there's a nonstop 3-hour flight to Costa Rica.
What is it on? Is it on Spirit?
It's Spirit, which kind of scares me, but
There's nothing to be like, what are you scared of?
them losing our bags.
Oh, okay. Put like, you already know this, put an air tag in it. And so you can just be like, I can see that you left it in Orlando.
Yes.
Or if you want to pay extra for it to have
I was
carry-ons.
I was thinking that, but then like with the baby too, I'm just like, I don't know.
Is it just one extra thing? Yeah.
I have to like still figure that out. But anyways, so we're gonna fly to San Jose, Costa Rica. And then from there, like I've researched everything with like the international driver's license, because that's what happened to us in Italy. We landed in Milan to drive to Como. And
did you reserve a car and everything?
yes, we went up to the counter. We're like, hey, here we are. And like they were like giving everyone their cars, and they're like, okay, where's your international driver's license? We're like, what? And they were like, yeah, you can't have a car. So literally
Also, from my experience, at least when we were like in Spain and Germany, like they're all stick shift.
exactly.
Which is, I'm like, okay, I'm never like,
Yes.
I could learn, but it just doesn't feel worth it to me.
Yes, especially in the middle of the night in a foreign country.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
So we ended up having to pay a taxi to take us up to Como, which was fine because then there's no cars there anyway, so that would have been a waste to have a rental car.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you don't need an international driver's license in Costa Rica. So we can
Nice.
rent a car, and it's like super cheap once you get there to like stay on the beach in like a cool tree house. So
Are you gonna do Airbnbs?
yeah, for sure. Because, and also like something I learned from our last trip is like we need to book Airbnbs and confirm before we book that they have either a travel crib or a pack and play. Because
nice.
I'm not going to be packing that.
Absolutely not. You didn't take, what did you take last time?
A pack and play.
You took the whole pack and play too. Did you check it?
Yeah.
Or like you could, okay, I didn't know if you
Because
could
we
like
flew
drop it at the
Southwest. So I brought a bag with the pack and play and the slumber pod and everything. The diapers was all in that. Then I brought our suitcase. Then I brought the stroller. Then I brought the car seat. So we'll also be renting a car seat.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's just things that you learn over time. Also, Peter got us for Monty's birthday an umbrella stroller, which is like a super flimsy little small stroller.
Yeah.
Which that will be now for traveling. That's what I have in my car now. I'm honestly probably going to sell the other one because it's just huge.
The umbrella ones are so short in my opinion. Like
They are short.
I like had to get one when Farrah was staying with us because I was gonna take her to the zoo and I was like, I'm not carrying you the whole time. So I just went to Target and picked one up and I was like, I am hunched the entire time. It literally feels like a doll stroller.
It actually does. But like the other one, I'm not kidding, is probably 40 pounds. It's so big. It's so hard for me to lift into my car. Like if it's just me, I'm just like, this is too much. I do understand like the need for it when they're young. Because like before they can sit up, you can't really put them in the umbrella stroller.
Yeah.
But I always wore Monty on like the wrap. So like when I have another baby, I'll probably just wear
and then push.
and then
Yeah.
push. And then if I decide I need a double stroller, I could get one. But I'm like, I don't know if it's really a necessity. Anyways, so we're doing that. And I think we're just gonna do like 2 different Airbnbs. I think we're gonna stay 10 days. Do
Nice.
like maybe 5 in the mountains, 5 at the beach.
Wonderful.
But I also feel like the mountains, I need to do more research. I feel like the mountains are accessible and
Honestly-
we could just stay at the beach.
Okay. I mean, honestly, I don't know if you've done this yet. You should just search traveling to Costa Rica on TikTok.
I did.
Okay.
I searched traveling with kids to Costa Rica.
Okay. Because
It
I'm like,
seems
that's literally
very-
where I'm like, TikTok is my travel agent.
Yes, that's literally, if Tanner and I go anywhere, like even like we've been there before, but like when we were in Colorado and we went to Boulder, he's like Boulder coffee and just like finds it. Like
It is a full search engine.
it literally is.
And I'm okay. Like I literally picked and planned our entire honeymoon around what I saw on TikTok. They were like, don't waste your money on Mykonos or
Because
Santorini.
it's just
like, go
more
here.
real. It feels more personal than like an article. I'm like, who wrote this? Are they cool? I
Yeah.
can't
Are
see
they
them.
cool? Were they in partnership with like, even though people on TikTok can still be in partnerships like with hotels or whatever, but I'm just like, most likely you were like and it's almost always like positive. It's like, you need to go here instead of like, this place was awful. It's like, they're not usually talking bad, but it's like, we like don't waste your time like doing something like this, instead do something like this. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, like for sure.
Yeah, so we're gonna go there and I'm super excited. I feel like it is going to be like kind of a Hawaii vibe where it's like more just like relaxed and chill. Like from what I've seen on TikTok, there's a lot of just like almost like little towns like set up on the beach, like restaurants and stuff. And I feel like we'll just like hang out.
Nice.
Like I just want to be warm.
Vibe. And I think you're in like Pacific Standard, I think, time zone.
Yeah, it's only 1 hour different from this.
Oh, nice.
From us.
Okay, so then like Central or something like that.
I have to show you a map because it's actually crazy where it is. Oh, and I should also say, so then we had to go get Monty's passport. As soon as we decided, we're like, okay, we have to go get her passport right now. So we like went in. It is crazy how many documents you need to open a new passport for a person.
I'm also terrified because this is also a life update. I finally changed my name officially. And so it's on my social security card and my license is update, but now I need to get my passport updated basically all before this international trip in September. So it's like I have plenty of time, but I also need to hold on to this passport until our flights later this month because it's the only thing that says Ekberg still. Okay, she's showing me the map.
It's like right below.
Oh, okay. Wait, can I hold closer?
That's actually what's happening to Madison too.
Really?
She is going on a missions trip this month. Her passport still says McLaughlin, but the church booked it for her. And I was like, no. I was like, she was like, I'm afraid that they did. I was like, you need to confirm right now.
Yeah, like,
and she was
don't
like,
be casual
I'm
about
scared.
it.
And I was like, ask them right now what they booked it under. And then
crazy. It's literally just straight drop.
I know, right? Yeah. I thought it was like so far away.
That's really nice. Yeah. This was also irritating is like the flights were cheaper than like what we ended up getting them at. And I went to book, I was like, Cole, they're so cheap. Like, I'm going to go book it. And he was like, okay, cool. And so they were like 20,000 points. And then I was like, book. And it was like, your account doesn't match the person that you're saying. Like, cause I was like, oh, I'm going to be Ashley Zimmerman by then on my passport. Like, and I am now. And so, but my American Airlines account said Ashley Ekberg. And so they're like, you can't book with that and like your American number because that's under Ashley Ekberg. You're trying to book for Ashley Zimmerman. And so they're like, you need to go update it in your account. I updated in my account. It took like 3 days and then the flights went up by 10,000 points. And so I talked to Ed and I was just like, should I just book it at this like rate? And if it changes, like I can just go get like my points reimbursed. He's like, yeah, just do that.
Wait, you can do that?
Yes, that is like a hack, especially on Southwest. I don't know if you remember this. You guys were, when we all went to Hawaii, but like you guys were already in Hawaii. I forget like the layout of it, but the boys, I was already in California. The boys were coming to meet me in California. Then we were all flying to Hawaii together. And I called about like changing something like on the boys' flight or like me getting on their flight. 'Cause maybe I booked a different one in the beginning. I forget what it was. But the lady on the phone and I had booked
I do remember this.
I booked my whole Hawaii trip in Southwest points. And so I was like, oh yeah, like I'm looking to get on their flight. And she was like, okay, also this flight is a 10,000 point difference. And so I'm going to reimburse you 10,000 points. I was like, for real? And
you were like, what about $10,000?
Yeah, what about that? And she was like, yeah, like you can do that at any time. If you notice the flight drops, so you can give us a call and be like, hey, a flight I booked 2 months ago dropped. Like, can I get reimbursed points? And they'll be like, yeah, no problem.
But you have to ask. They won't just do it.
Oh, yeah, no, they won't do it. They're like, we got you at 30,000 points, babes.
That's a really good hack.
Yeah, so Ed was like, just keep an eye on it, and like it'll fluctuate probably, but I didn't want it to go up any further because we only had 76,000, so I used 60. So if it went any higher than that,
also like you can't just like use half of them or something. You can't, if it's 30,000 points for the flight and you have 26, like you can't be like, oh, I'll pay the difference. Yeah, you have to do like, the full
you better
thing.
go buy some points. Like yes. They make you pay it in full. Also, and since we're just speaking on travel, I know like I've talked to you about this, but we're really torn right now for our like winter blues trip to do. Like obviously we'll be like in Florida like whenever, but my friend that lives in Hawaii was like, oh, in March, like you should come stay with me. And I've stayed with her before, like when we visited. And so we're like, okay, interesting. So like we could go to Hawaii, stay for free, rent a car, and then just pay for flights.
Do you think you could get your flights for free, or is that too far of a...
No, I honestly think there is a realm in which we could. We just hit like a bonus on one of our cards and we're going to get like a lot of points from it. But we kind of got it to use like for like stays in Europe and like hotel stays, but we could use it for flights, like, and at least get some portion of it for free or like half off, something like that. So that's an option. But then I have had, and again, you're going to make fun of me, I have had this itch recently. When I was younger, we did like Disney cruises and we went on like 3 or 4 of them, like before like I moved out of the house, and they're just so much fun, and like the destinations are so much fun. So I've been like saying to Nicole, I was like, I would really love to go on a Disney cruise.
I will say about Disney, something I've learned because of you and others. I did not realize like how like big they go.
Oh, it is. And like they do like their international stuff, like they like you can go to Europe with Disney, but it's like with a Disney travel group. It's not like Mickey and Minnie in Rome or whatever, but it's like under the Disney umbrella. Like, so they really just like own the entire travel realm. Like,
and they like do it big. Like, I feel like that's like the thing is like the Disney cruise is like, it's way nicer than other cruises. But it's like, so nice. To me, I always just thought it was like the characters are there, like, okay.
And that's the thing, like, and Ed and Katie like are understand this too, because they're just like her or Ed's family is big into like a different cruise line, and so like when they go on family trips they're like, oh yeah, cool, like whatever. But it's just like nothing compares to Disney. It is just so much nicer, and like you just
especially with kids, I'm sure.
Especially with kids, but then also like if you are just like 2 adults just wanting to go, like there is adult only pools and like adult only restaurants, like, and stuff that it's just like that's really nice. They're like their kids. I remember when I was like when I was that age, like my parents would like drop us off at like
they would drop you off
the kids areas, and they are like elite. Like it literally is like a whole room that's like Andy's room, and you can go like interact. It's so like, so anyways, we've been like debating that this is crazy. So like, I don't know if I've said this on the podcast. Oh yeah, I definitely did, because I talked about Australia at one point. My sister's moving to Australia. There is a 15-day cruise from that leaves out of Sydney and goes to Hawaii on Disney. Isn't that insane?
Does it stop anywhere?
Yeah. There were like some stops, like honestly, and like a lot of like Polynesian islands, which like some of them like I couldn't even pronounce. I was like, I've never even heard of.
And it's probably literally an island that Disney has fully bought.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it has like all the stuff there.
Try to guess. Honestly, so like this one, it was like,
try to guess how much it is.
Yes, all together, or you could guess per person. But I'll give you the guide or like the framework that I saw it under a 30% off. Like this cruise is 30% off for this date specifically.
Okay, it's Australia to Hawaii.
Mm-hmm. With 15 days, and all of your food is included and everything. And I think it was like 4 or 5 stops.
Okay, this is not including the flights.
No.
Okay, per person, I'm gonna say 8,000.
2,500.
What?
Yes.
Actually,
it was literally like under 5,000. It was like $4,800 for like an inside room, like so like you don't see like the ocean at all, and it's not like you're like in the bottom of the boat or anything, like, but just like an indoor room for 15 days for 2 people was like literally $4,800. And I was like, Cole, like, hear me out here. Like the day that we go to Australia to see Lou, we take this cruise to Hawaii, stay with Chrissy. Like we just do this whole 3-week long like adventure.
That would be absolutely insane.
But there is a stretch
people would be like, don't you guys work at a church?
Like, yes.
They probably are thinking that right now.
Truly. Yeah. I'm like, credit card points. My flights are free. Half my hotel will be for free.
Don't worry, guys. It was free.
Don't worry.
It was free. It was on Spirit.
Literally. What's like it's the dual income, no kids life.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I feel like you guys are living like our travel life like the year before we got pregnant. Like we literally were like, somewhere every single weekend. Mm-hmm. Like it would be one weekend for work, then one weekend
for fun,
and then we would like extend it, and like it was just like like we were just looking back at our Instagram memories, we were like, we went everywhere. And I feel like that's you guys right now.
That is 100% true. Like I remember you guys were like, oh, we're going to Joshua Tree. I'd be like, oh, like so and so is like having a birthday party, are you guys gonna be able to go? Like, no, we're gonna be in Joshua Tree, or no, like we got booked for a thing in Yosemite. It was just like you guys were always everywhere, and I loved that for you.
But
it was a good hurrah. Not like it's ever going to slow down.
I mean, it did slow down, just being realistic, but like I'm so happy that we like, I never feel like I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that, because I'm like, I did it.
Yeah,
I'm good. I did it all.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, that literally was like that's a month long endeavor.
You're not going to Australia though?
Not this year.
Okay.
So she'll be there for 2 years, and I'm pretty sure she'll just be like in a normal apartment. So it's like, we'll probably, after we're done with Europe, like our points will reset, and we'll kind of like reevaluate and like just like continue spending on those cards and see like where we're at point wise to get out there.
Don't you wish that you had to pay rent through like a company and you could pay rent on a credit card?
Well, it's actually when she moves out, I don't know how long we're in this episode, but I feel like we've been talking for a while, but when she moves out, my parents were like, hey, like we're just gonna ask like you contribute something towards rent. I'm like 100% totally reasonable, because a lot of the reason we've had free rent is because Lou's been living with us, and they're like, if Lou were to be living elsewhere, they would have been paying out of pocket for her. So they're like, right now everyone can stay for free, and so once she's gone, it's like, okay, can you just help us out? And I said yes, absolutely. And it benefits them too, because if they like set up a lease that like we sign, and they were like, we'll set up a portal for you to pay with. And so
you will.
So we will. Cause yeah, even like right now we pay utilities and I just Venmo them, and sometimes it can be like $200 or $300. And I'm like, dang, like that's a decent amount of money. I wish I was earning points on that.
You're really giving me the want to do this. I just have so much anxiety because I feel like I am not responsible enough to keep track of all of the cards with everything else that goes on in my brain. Yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna forget, and then
just set up like automatic payments.
I know, but like that's what I've done on, like I said, I don't use credit cards now because I just like, I don't trust myself. Not that I don't trust myself not to spend the money, it's that I don't remember to go and pay it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I can put like the automatic of like, oh, I guess you can put automatic pay it fully.
Yeah. Just like pay this card off every month. Yeah.
I was thinking that you have to put pay the minimum, and then I was like, well, I'm gonna forget to pay the rest of it.
No. Yeah, you can put like, yeah, pay the balance every single month.
Okay, so which card should I get?
So then we
the Amex.
Yeah, there's a bunch, like, we'll talk after this.
Wait, really quick. Is the Amex the one that you can get into any lounge?
So there is the Amex Platinum, and Ed or Katie is listening to this, just laughing at me trying to make my way through this, but Amex Platinum is like, it has like a $500 annual fee. And so every year it will hit you with like $500, but you do get a lot of stuff like in perks and like in return, and then you get like lounge access. And then the Chase Sapphire Preferred, whatever the highest Chase Sapphire is also like another $500 annual fee, but that also gets you lounge access.
Does the highest one mean that you have to like work your way up, or can you just pay when you pay the $500?
If you have a good credit score, like you can just go on and apply for it, and then if you get approved, it's like, okay, cool. Like it's not like you have to have other cards to qualify for it.
Interesting.
You definitely, like, obviously you've had it's just so funny we're talking about this. You've had the Southwest one. Is that the only one that you have?
Yep.
Okay. You've had the Southwest one for a while. Then you can, I would go Chase next, because they have like rules and stipulations on like different cards that you can get.
The Southwest is a Chase though.
Yeah, but like if you go and get like 3 other cards from like different providers, Chase will be like, we want to see, it's like called a specific rule. It's like the 524 rule or something, where like if you've had 5 cards within the last 2 years, Chase won't approve you. Like for the next Chase card. Like, so
I don't need 5 cards.
Yeah, I know. So I'm saying just get Chase first, because sometimes they're weird about like you having other cards like within the last few months.
Oh, okay. Anyways,
that was your
we'll
little
do an
lesson. If you
episode about the credit cards with Ed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you want more, just go to Ed. He made an Instagram. It's like Ed Points to Places, I think is what it's called. And then he's just like Ed Newell on YouTube. But go look at his videos on how to travel for free in the new year, because everyone's gonna want to travel. You're gonna want to get your finances right. We'll have him on.
Yes. Last thing I wanted to say, going back to getting Monty's passport.
Yes.
You would not believe how much paperwork you need to open a new passport. They need her birth certificate, which I was like, okay, I have that. But then we were going, and I was like, I can't find it in our safe. Then I remembered that you have to bring the birth certificate when you fly if they're a lap child to prove that they're under 2. So then I remembered that it was in my wallet this whole time.
Just fold it up in your wallet.
Just fold it up in my wallet. But they took it at the passport place and they mail it back to you with the passport. Yeah. And I'm like, that's kind of scary.
I know, the same thing happened. Like Cole's mom was like, what? Like when we had to get a passport for Greece, and I was like, they'll send it back.
Yeah.
Like literally, it's so much pressure. Imagine being the passport processing lady. Like,
I know.
In DC.
I know. But so we expedited it so that we will definitely have it in time for the trip. And whenever she went to get her photo taken, she smiled right at the camera.
I posted on the podcast.
I will.
Oh my gosh, I was absolutely dying. She literally was just like...
she's obsessed with chairs right now. She loves to sit on chairs. Not like a high chair. Don't even try the high chair. She wants to be freely roaming on the chair herself. But so they put her on the little stool, and she was like...
she was like, perfect.
And then they took the picture right at that moment, and it was so cute.
That's so funny. Were the people at the passport office like eating her up?
Or not as much as they should have been. I will say though,
get out.
This is so weird. I won't name drop the person, but someone that we know randomly, because I posted her passport photo on like my story, and she was like, my boyfriend just came back from getting his passport, and he said there was the cutest baby in front of him.
No way!
And it was you. And I'm like, that is crazy.
Like, wow, you think my baby's cute?
Some
You're
celebrity.
Right. That's so funny.
But yeah.
All right, let's a travel coming up in the new year. I like that this ended up turning into a travel episode.
I know, we didn't know where this would take us.
Did we talk about, and we can cut this if you want, did we talk about on the podcast our trip that we were supposed to go on?
No, we did not, but we can talk about it.
Okay. Well, I mean, you explain it.
Tanner's brother won through a silent auction.
Just so funny.
A weekend at a cabin in the Smokies. Okay. I don't know. He said he always does silent auctions. Also, he lives in Seattle.
Yeah.
So he has he has 3 kids. Why
did you even bid on this in the first place?
Yeah. I assume he thought I can give it to someone.
Yeah, which is very sweet.
Yeah. I don't even know if I should. I think we should cut it out because now I'm like, well, I lied about it.
Oh, okay. I mean, I didn't know if they listened at all.
No, but what if someone, I don't know. Now I'm scared because I lied.
Fine. All right. Well, yeah, that's fine. Cole, cut this out. Cole, cut this out.
I'll text him.
All right. Anything else to add? 2024 is looking like a nice little travel year.
For our next episode, you want to do our New Year's
stuff, yeah, because I think the 20th was the day that this come out. That means the 27th will be the next one, and our last one for the year.
Remember we did New Year's resolutions last year? We can go back and see if we kept up on them.
I'm scared.
Me too.
I know alcohol was the one that I have kept.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm sober girly, but let me tell you, I will be having champagne in the new year.
Really?
Absolutely.
Do you think you'll go back to drinking?
I feel good, but also I didn't feel bad before, and it wasn't oh, I needed to overcorrect a ton. I don't know if I've said this on the podcast before, but I listened to someone one time that was like, I made a rule for myself that I'm only going to drink 10% of the year. And not at one time, but obviously 365 days, 10% of that, 36.5 days. And I'm like, that is a good measure. That kind of covers weddings that you attend, maybe a birthday party, have one
random
little drink.
Events.
But I really, if I would just cap myself at one, it's oh, what a nice little treat. And that's it. Even though our friend Will Cole is any alcohol is bad for you and bad for your brain. But I'm just did this year. It was fun.
Good for you.
And yeah, we'll see.
Since I'm better than you.
Truly.
I have not drank in 2 years.
That is crazy. To be fair, you were pregnant for 9 months of one of them, but I mean,
And
you never even
breastfeeding.
like had an itch to.
Well, I would get so sick from it.
And you're
but
like, it's just genuinely not worth it. I feel like this might be bold to say. I feel like you got more sick from drinking than you did when you were pregnant,
1,000%.
which is just so crazy.
1,000,000,000,000%.
Her
yes.
body was like, please, no.
I think it is because of endo, because it's like inflammatory.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I believe it.
You know what? A lot of people have been reaching out to me about endo stuff, and I feel like maybe we should do a little segment on it one time.
That would be nice. I literally feel like that's a whole other life ago. Like that was literally like 3 years ago.
It was actually exactly. I had my
'Cause
surgery
it was your birthday.
in 2020, November 12th.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of people have been asking me just randomly, like, I got diagnosed with it. Like, what should I do?
Yeah.
So maybe we'll talk about it sometime.
Absolutely. Which also we put up a poll on like, or you put up like a poll about like what episodes do you like and everything, and people voted that they like the like the not the hard episodes, like what's the word I'm looking
like
for?
the deep.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, interesting. What other deep
Better conjure up
convos
some tears.
could we have? We shall see. What other trauma can we uplift from our friends?
So remember that time? Do you know my sister got hit by a car
When
she was 4?
Oh.
It was terrifying. I don't know why trauma just made me think.
Did
of
she
that.
break anything?
No, we were on vacation and she ran out in the street, and this car was going really fast, but and it like, slammed on the brakes, but then it like hit her,
A little
and
tapped
fell
her.
over. It was so scary
That's
though.
sickening. Just
I know.
thinking like, just mainly like as a parent, I'm sure, but like as a driver, like just that
She
you
was
could,
sobbing.
yeah, a kid could run out in front of you, and then obviously worst case scenario, then it becomes manslaughter. You're like, my life is over.
No.
My life is over. Anyways, that took a real turn.
Yeah, you want the deep talks?
You want the deep talks? We'll talk about
Talk
manslaughter.
about manslaughter.
All
All
right.
right.
We love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. And yeah,
Have a good Christmas.
have a good Christmas. And we love you guys. We will see you after Christmas.
And we're gonna end with the song. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. Goodbye.